Okay, actually if you see del of t is equal to derivative of u of t in continuous domain. Del of n is equal to u of n minus u of n minus 1. You just visualize, you will get the answer here. How u of n is there? How u of n minus 1 is there? We are doing a subtraction, you will get the sample at n is equal to 0, that is del of n over. So these are the two things you have to remember. How we are getting del of t from the u of t, how we are getting del of n from the u of n. Okay. So differentiation of u of t, how we can able to tell this one? Difference in y coordinates by difference in x coordinates, that is nothing but slope actually. Derivative means slope of the u of t only. Okay, slope of the u of t only we will find. For example, u of t is available like this. What is the slope of the x axis? 0. What is the slope of the 1? That means it is parallel to x axis, so it is also 0. What is the slope of this one? Infinity. So simply you have calculated the slope and you are telling that is the d of t. We did here d by dt. Upon this signal we have applied the derivative operator, you got del of t. So d by dt of u of t will provide del of t. What is that? D by dt means if you give the coordinates y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So difference in between two things. Difference in between two things will provide the differential version. So in discrete domain also same thing. In the continuous domain we will tell differential equation. In the discrete domain we will tell difference equation. Difference equation. It is a differential equation. Over. So like this you can able to remember. Now write f of n in terms of del of n. Okay, this is the f of n equation. F of n graph they have given, graphical representation. Now we have to represent this f of n in terms of the del of n. So generally del of n means that is available at n is equal to 0 with amplitude 1. Del of n minus 1 means it is a shifted version of the del of n by 1 second to the right side. It will be available like this. And del of n minus 2, del of n minus 2 is the impulse available at n is equal to with amplitude 1. If you have del of n plus 1, it is the advanced version, impulse signal is shifted left side by 1. Okay, like this we can able to take. Now if you want 2 times of del of n minus 1, here amplitude you have to take 2. 3 times of del of n minus 2, so here you need to take amplitude is 3. Like this you can able to represent. Okay, so all the samples, any sample which can be available at any time, that may be on right side or left side, that may be by taking the value of n positive or negative or with any amplitude, all the samples can be represented in terms of del only. You see that one. Okay, the sample can be available at n is equal to 0, the sample can be available at n is equal to 1, 2 or minus 1, whatever it may be. So the sample position can be anywhere. The sample position can be anywhere, that can be represented as a shifted version of the del of n. And the sample amplitude can also be anything. It may be 1, simply del of n. It may be 2, 2 times of del of n minus 1. It may be 3, 3 times of the del of n minus 2. So one thing we have to remember. The sample can be available at any time, that may be on positive side or negative side. The sample amplitude can also be anything. Okay, so any sample can be represented in terms of the some modified version of the del of n. That modified version means amplitude scaling or time shifting. Okay, by performing these operations we can represent any sample. Now you see this f of n. This is one signal. What is signal? Signal means here the collection of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 samples for this one. This signal is nothing but collection of 5 samples, and if you starting from here at n is equal to minus 2, one sample is there. At n is equal to minus 1, another sample. At n is equal to 0, another sample. At n is equal to plus 1, another sample. At n is equal to plus 2, another sample. So 5 samples are there. So just now I have told that any sample can be represented with a modified version of the or modified form of the del of n. This sample is available at n is equal to minus 2. So this sample can be represented with the del of n plus 2 because it is advanced version plus 2 I have to take. Another sample is available at n is equal to minus 2. So del of n plus 1. This sample is available at n is equal to 0. So del of n. Next, this sample is available at n is equal to 1. So del of n minus 1. This is available at n is equal to 2. So del of n minus 2. But this first sample is having the amplitude is 4. So you take here 4. Second sample is having the amplitude is minus 2. So you take here minus 2. Next sample, which is at n is equal to 0, is having the amplitude is 2. So you take here plus 2. Next sample is available at n is equal to 1 with amplitude minus 1. So you take here minus. Next sample is available at n is equal to 2 with amplitude is 3. So you take here plus 3. Over. We have represented f of n in terms of impulse signal, discrete time impulse signal by the modified version that may be shifting or with amplitude scaling. Okay. So all these are samples only. All these are modified versions of the impulse signal only. Now, next thing, you see this equation. This equation is very, very important in the convolution topic also. Just now I told that every sample can be represented as a modified version of the impulse signal. Okay. Now, this is a addition. You see here, this is one sample available. This is the impulse signal available at n is equal to minus 1 with amplitude minus 2. So we can tell plus minus 2 into del of n plus 1. It is plus minus of del of n minus 1. Like that we can able to take. So it is addition of. Okay. Next, before going to go for the final equation, how to write this 4? How to write that 4? Or I will write that one later. So 4 into del of, I can write here n minus of minus 2 del of n of minus 1 plus 2 into del of n minus 0. Next, from here minus del of n minus 1 plus 3 into del of n minus 2. Like this I have written. Okay. Next, how to write this 4? 4 is the amplitude of this particular signal at n is equal to minus 2. So I can write that 4 as f of minus 2. Already we have discussed about this one much. F of n is the signal because n is the variable and f is the variable. F of minus 2 is not the variable. It is a constant value. It is a fixed value. It is the value of the signal f of n at n is equal to minus 2. At n is equal to minus 2, what is the amplitude? 4. That's why in place of 4 I can write f of minus 2. So f of minus 2 into del of n of minus 2. Next, how to write this minus 2? Minus 2 is amplitude of f of n at n is equal to minus 1. So this minus 2 can be written as f of minus 1. So f of minus 1 is the amplitude of the f of n at n is equal to minus 1. So when you take n value at minus 1, you will get amplitude is minus 2. So in place of minus 2, I have written f of minus 1 del of n minus of minus 1. Next, this one, this 2 can be written as, this sample is having the amplitude is 2, this sample is available at n is equal to 0. So directly it is the impulse signal. Okay, impulse with amplitude 2. So this is can be represented as f of 0. Value of the signal f at n is equal to 0, that is 2. So it is del of n minus 0. Next, this one minus 1. Where it is minus 1 is available? This one. So this is the sample available at n is equal to 1. That means that is represented with f of 1. F of 1 means value of the signal f of n at n is equal to 1. At n is equal to 1, value of the signal is minus 1. So in place of minus 1, I can write here f of 1 into del of n minus 1. Next, plus 3. Plus 3 is available at n is equal to 2. So that's why it is f of 2 del of n minus 2. So in this way we can represent. So you see now, instead of 4 minus 2, 2 minus 1, 3, that means in place of the amplitudes we have written in terms of the f of minus 2, f of minus 1, f of 0, f of 1, f of 2, like that we have written. Now if you see this equation carefully, f of minus 2 and here also minus 2, n of del of n minus 2, f of minus 1 into del of n minus 1 plus f of 0 into del of n minus 0 plus f of 1 into del of n minus 1 plus f of 2 del of n minus 2. So here 2 means here also 2, here 0 means here also 0, here minus 1 means here also minus 1, here minus 2 means here also minus 2, here 1 means here also 1. That means it is changing actually, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, like that it is changing continuously. Okay, from minus 2 to plus 2 it is changing, so that is a variable. So how to minimize this one? It is a addition, plus plus plus. That's why in discrete domain addition means we have to take sigma. In continuous domain addition means you have to take integration. Sigma represents a discrete summation, integral represent a continuous summation. In the continuous domain, if you want to do the addition or the summation, you have to use the integral. In discrete domain, you need to use sigma. Sigma represents discrete summation, integral represents continuous summation. Okay, so because all are added, I have taken the sigma. Next, in all the terms, first one is f of something. Second one is del of n minus something is there. But whatever it is there for f, same thing is there here. You see, minus 2, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2. And after f, del of n minus, del of n minus, del of n minus. So this is the thing. But I have understood that whatever it may be in the f, same thing is there in the del also. Minus 2, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 0. That means whatever I am writing here, same thing should be available here also. If it is k, it is also k. K is changing from, in this problem, k is changing from minus 2 to plus 2. K is changing from minus 2 to plus 2. Now you take k is equal to minus 2. Substitute here f of minus 2, del of n minus of minus 2. This will come. Take k is equal to minus 1. Because discrete we should take only integers. So k is equal to minus 1. Substitute here f of minus 1, del of n minus of minus 1. Next, take k is equal to 0, f of 0, del of n minus 0. Take k is equal to 1, f of 1, del of n minus 1. Take k is equal to f of 2, del of n minus 2. Over. So that's why we have summed all those things. Okay. So in generalization, this particular signal is available from minus 2 to 2. But another signal may be available only on negative side, only on positive side, or from the negative to positive like this, or it is at the very large negative value, or it is at the large positive value. So for the generalization purpose, we can take here minus infinity to plus infinity like this. So any discrete time signal can be represented like this. Sigma k is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity, f of k into del of n minus k. So any discrete time signal can be represented as discrete summation. Sigma means a discrete summation of weighted shifted impulse signals. Okay, f of k is nothing but weight. That weight can be 4, minus 2, 2, minus 1, 3. That is the weight we will call weighted shifted impulse signals. Okay, any discrete time signal can be represented as a discrete summation of these products. Actually, discrete summation of this f of k can be called as weighted. Okay, weighted of this shifted impulse signals. So any discrete signal can be represented as discrete summation of weighted shifted unit impulse signals. Okay, that is the thing. So this will be very, very helpful. So remember carefully and practice very much. Now again we came to this particular time domain signal. Already this problem we have done, but here some change I have given. That is, in the previous case, it is assignment question actually. In the previous problem I have given g of t from minus 1 to plus 1. Now it is minus 2 to plus 2. So think about this and represent f of t in terms of g of t. Now this one just now we have discussed. Now this one we will discuss. Okay, we are representing u of n in terms of the del of n. How it is possible, you see. Generally u of t is available like this. U of n, del of n, this is del of n minus 1. This is del of n minus 2. You see, del of n is covered here, del of n minus 1 is covered here, del of n minus 2 is covered here. It is del of n minus 3 actually. It is del of n minus 4. So by adding this del of n minus 1, del of n minus 2, del of n minus 3, del of n minus 4 and so on, you will get u of n. Del of n, del of n minus 1, del of n minus 2 and so on. So because it is discrete domain, u of n is equal to, this is addition, so discrete summation of del of n, in all the terms del of n minus is also there. So here some value is changing, 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 up to infinity. So I am taking that is variable k. So k is changing from 0 to infinity. So this entire equation I can write like this. Okay. So discrete summation of shifted versions of the unit impulse signal will provide a unit step signal in discrete domain. So that is this one, we have proved that. Okay. Now again this is another form. U of n is equal to sigma k is from minus infinity to n del of k. Now you see this one. In order to do this, I am taking certain value of n. So I am writing here u of n is equal to sigma k is from minus infinity to n del of k. You check some values. N is negative I am taking, n is 0 I am taking, n is positive also I am taking. So 3 cases I am taking. N is equal to negative. So u of minus 1 sigma k is from minus infinity to minus 1 del of k. U of minus 1 is what? Step signal is available on right side. So left side its value is 0. So this is 0. Whether it is 0 or not, you check. Del signal is available, del of k is nothing but it is available at k is equal to 0. Independent variable, now it is changed. Generally we will tell del of n, now it is del of k. So this impulse is available at k is equal to 0, but you are doing the summation from minus infinity to minus 1 only. You are not meeting k is equal to 0. So its value is 0 only, 0 is equal to 0. This 0 is for this one, this 0 is for this one. So both are equal. So satisfied. So this equation is valid for n negative values. Okay. Are you getting this one? Just we have substituted n is equal to minus 1 in this equation. Wherever n is there, you substitute minus 1. So left side we got u of minus 1. Generally unit step signal is available on right side. That means amplitude is 1 for right side and amplitude is 0 for negative side. So when you take n is equal to minus 1, amplitude is 0 only. That only I have written here. Next n is equal to minus 1 means this sigma k is from minus infinity to minus 1. This impulse signal is available at k is equal to 0, but you are doing the summation up to minus 1 only. That's why it is also 0. So 0 is equal to 0. This equation is satisfied for the negative values of n. Over. Next you take n is equal to 0. If you take n is equal to 0, substitute here, u of 0 is equal to sigma k is from minus infinity to 0 del of k. So u of 0 is how much? 1. That is equal to, we are doing the summation up to k is equal to 0. So here del of 0 is also available. Del of minus infinity, del of 100, del of minus 100, del of minus 99, del of minus 10, del of minus 1. Up to del of minus 1, it is 0 only. But whenever k is equal to 0, del of 0 is 1. So 1 is equal to 1. This is true. The equation is satisfying for n is equal to 0 also. Now n is equal to, substitute n is equal to in this equation. U of 2 is equal to sigma k is from minus infinity to 2 del of k. U of 2 right side you will get 1. It is equal to, this side you see, you are adding this impulse signal from k is from minus infinity to 2. In between 0 is there. Minus infinity to minus 1, negative side. K is equal to 0 and then k is equal to 1 and then k is equal to. For all the k values, this del value is 0 only, but only at k is equal to 0 you will get a del of 0, that is 1. Again 2. Again this equation satisfied this n is equal to 2, that is positive values also. So this equation satisfied for all negative values of n, 0 value of n and positive values of n. So this equation is satisfied. This equation is satisfied. So in that way also we can write the u of n. So u of n can be written in terms of the del of n in two ways. U of n is equal to sigma k is from 0 to infinity del of n minus k. U of n is equal to sigma k is from minus infinity to n del of k. Here you should concentrate more on the limits. How limits we have taken. We have proved this one and this one. Much practice is required here. Next. So this one already we have taken. D by dt of u of t is del of t. Integral of del of t, you have to see the limits. Limit, upper limit is t, so it will be u of t. Next, just now we have seen this one. The sigma k is from minus infinity to n del of k will give u of n. U of n minus u of n minus 1 will give del of n. All these things already we have seen. Why I have given these 4 at one place means, you see here, differentiation of u of t will give del of t. Difference in between u of n and u of n minus 1 will give del of n. I have already said that in continuous domain differential equation, in discrete domain difference equation. So these definitions are, these equations are also similar to each other. Del of t we will get for the differentiation of the u of n, del of n we will get for the difference equation of the u of n. Now coming to this one, integral I can say it is for the continuous addition. Continuous addition. In case of continuous domain, in order to add we need to use the integration. In discrete domain, in order to add we need to use the sigma. So simply integral, here sigma. Some variable is changing from minus infinity to t, here variable is changing from minus infinity to n. Why here t? Because it is continuous domain, it is t. It is discrete domain, that's why n. Okay, so here variable is changing from minus infinity to n, here variable is changing from minus infinity to t, here del of t, here del of k, that's it. Because it is discrete domain, we are representing with del of k within the square bracket. So here resultant is u of t, here resultant is u of n. So in case of continuous domain we will represent with integration, in case of the discrete domain we will represent with sigma, that's it. Okay. Thank you.